Hello again, welcome to another edition of the Real Ale Guide. I am here with Dan.
Nice to meet you, Simon.
And Rob from the Bottle Shop in Cardiff. Facebook and Twitter links?
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at CF24 Bottle Shop, and we're also on Facebook as the Bottle Shop, which is in Cardiff. So if you Google that, we'll come up pretty near the top. You'll see a nice picture of Watson, the shop Labrador. He's the profile picture and a regular sort of helper in the shop. Most people know him locally. So yeah, watch out for Watson.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I've had a lot of people over the last 2 years saying you should visit a bottle shop and do a review, but there's never been anything really local to me until these guys got in contact. It's predominantly wine, but where we're standing here, they've got a fantastic range. I don't know if I can zoom in on some of these. They've got a fantastic range of beer from all over the world. America, Belgium, Japan, I see some Japanese beer, Chinese beer, German beer, Mexican beer. For me, it's so exciting because we've just not had this. I've just not had this availability before. So, what was you thinking behind it?
Well, basically, I've worked in the wine trade for a while, worked for different people, and always sort of thought, well, I wanted to do a shop which not only encompassed lots of great wines, but also lots of beers and spirits, especially stuff that's a little bit more off the beaten track, a little bit harder to get hold of, and just more interesting, really. And since we opened the shop, which was sort of August last year, 2011, basically the interest in the beer side of things has picked up massively, and I probably underestimated it a little bit to start with. But we've really sort of put some effort in the last couple of months, especially with Rob coming on board, to try and sort of up what we're doing in terms of beer, and it's something we'd definitely like to sort of do more of in the future, I think.
That was my next question. The way beer is selling in this shop for you, where do you see this shop with beer in 2 years' time?
I'd like to have a lot more representation from the UK, and what I mean by that is what we find difficult as a shop is a lot of the smaller sort of microbreweries, and there's some fantastic stuff springing up, not only in Wales, but you've got stuff in London, you know, all over the United Kingdom. Because they are small guys, the distribution side of it is quite poor outside of their local area. So I'd love to be able to put something together that we could get those kind of beers in regularly. Don't get me wrong, I love the world beer. We want to get lots more German stuff, lots more American stuff. We're trying to go really heavy with American seasonals at the moment because they're the kind of things that are hard to get.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, if we could get a really good British representation to sort of show off what we do as an island against, you know, some of the more sort of well-known stuff from the States, Germany and Belgium, that would be great.
Great. So today we're going to be looking at a bottle of Brooklyn Local 1. Rob, can you explain a little bit about this beer while I start to take the cork off and stuff?
Brooklyn Local 1 is one of a range of...
Christ! Okay.
Don't
We'll
kill him.
carry on.
Well,
We'll carry on. Let's go.
Brooklyn
No one was hurt. Keep going.
beers. We've got Local 1 and 2. It's re-fermented in the bottle, so
Okay.
it's got that method that's similar to the champagne method, actually. So they filter out the yeast used in the fermentation,
Yeah.
and then they rebottle the beer still, I believe, and then they add some sugar and some yeast. So similar to the champagne method.
So it's a Belgian.
I believe that Brooklyn describe it themselves as a Brooklyn original. So in terms of style, it's
kind of a homage to the Belgian yeast and sugars, but with the sort of champagne method, I think, is what they've tried to do.
and a saison.
Say, oh
As
yeah,
well.
yeah, I know. So I can smell the beer because it's all over the floor. But I'm definitely. Throw some more in there.
Cheers.
So that's the Brooklyn 1. Got a big date on it, April 2015. We're only in 2012 now, if you're watching 2 years in the future. It's 9% ABV. So, what are you getting on the nose?
It's actually quite fruity. I thought it was going to be, you know, with that kind of alcohol, you normally get a lot of the fruit flavours get killed off, and all you get is alcohol. But I'm getting sort of, it's almost melon, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely got that Belgian yeast characteristic to it.
You could do your washing up in that, I think.
Yeah, it's very, very lemony. I with these saisons, I always pick up a lot of spice. Do you pick up like a spiciness?
Do you get
to
a
it?
hint of like really ripe banana, or is it just
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that sort of soft banana, sort of pulped. Yeah, the pithy sort of stuff.
Absolutely. But it smells delicious. I reckon we should get in, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
It's big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big. It's quite balanced and rounded, mine. Yeah, again, you do get that like kind of. I almost get like a spicy banana. It's like, as you say, a ripe, extreme ripe banana. But I always pick up a bit of spiciness. From
Yeah,
this.
it's a bit like a sort of a fruit pudding, you know, like a dark pudding where that, you know, you have it spicy with the custard,
Yeah.
and it's all that kind of flavour going on.
Yeah.
Sort of slightly clovey, and yeah, there's a lot more going on in it than I thought there would be actually.
So, was your first love wine?
No, my first love was beer.
It was beer.
Definitely
okay.
beer.
Okay.
Yeah, I started off running a real ale pub, and then went on to run a beer festival, which is now done, I think, about 8 years in pretty much the same sort of format. But then I started working in the wine trade, and obviously there's so many tangents that you go off on.
Yeah.
That obviously I always kept drinking beer, but never really worked hands-on with it for probably about 5-6 years. But it's great now to sort of come back and sort of say, well, you know, now I've got a chance to sort of pull things in that I really enjoy, really like, that other people get excited about as well. Because I mean, there's certain beer styles that we sell that aren't my cup of tea. But yeah, it's just great to watch people come in the shop and get excited. We had a couple of German guys come in the shop a couple of days ago and get all excited and giggly over the beers we had, and that's great because, you know, if a German's getting excited about the German beers that we stock, then we're obviously doing something right.
And you must have people coming in, looking at the wine, buying the wine, coming in for a particular bottle that perhaps a friend's suggested they come and buy here, and then they kind of turn to the beer on the way out and go, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
It's very eye-catching.
Yeah, and I think part of that's down to the beer itself. I mean, a lot of the American stuff is very creative with the way it presents itself. I think the marketing is always spot on.
Yeah.
Whereas the more continental stuff, I mean, you've only got to look at some of the bottles, and they're so distinctive in terms of the shapes, you know, the labels on them, the fonts, the graphics, all that kind of stuff. So visually, it makes a great sort of piece to have in the shop, just for customers to look at, just for pure interest sake. But because we are a small business, a lot of people hear about us, I guess, because of the wine. And maybe they don't assume that we'll do as much beer as we do. But it is great that when people find us, they see that we do actually try and put a bit of effort into the beer range. And it's definitely something that's picking up for us.
Excellent.
Yeah, which is great.
Brilliant. Going back to the beer then, Rob, first of all, can I have a final thought and a rating off you for this beer out of 10?
Out of 10? Well, I mean, I quite like it because it's got that Belgian triple kind of characteristic in terms of the yeastiness and the spiciness, but then it's got that kind of saison kind of feel to it as well. So I think I'd probably give it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Rob? Dan, sorry.
I'd probably give it about a 7. I agree with Rob. I do like the fact that it's quite creamy. It's got a really good weight to it. The only reason I'd maybe give it a 7 over an 8 is because of the ABV on it and the bottle size. It's definitely something that you would do either as an event or you know, if you had some food or something, you know, you'd really need to have a reason to open this beer because it's not the sort of thing you could crack after a day at work and yeah, get through and be refreshed. So that's the only reason I'd bump it down. But flavour and weight and texture, I think it's lovely.
Yeah, I probably, I think where I try and put this beer in my own mind is to instead of buying 3 or 4 different beers, if I was in a kind of a big bottle mood, I'd probably just buy the one, with it being 9%, sit there probably with a football match or something and just gently sip away at it
Yeah.
all evening. I think that's, for me, that's where it sits, all again with food.
Mm.
So for that reason, I'm going to give it. I really like the Belgium styles, the spiciness, the banana, the hints of lemon.
Mm.
It's got a sweetness to it, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
it is quite sweet on the finish. I think the Americans have done a great job replicating a Belgium style beer here. So for me, I'm going to give it an 8. So we got a 7, an 8 and a 9. So yeah, absolutely great. If you're in the area, make sure to check out this wonderful range of beer behind me. But thanks for watching. Thanks guys for joining me on the review.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.